Yes, so we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar. Thank you all for joining. My name is Elena Grinyuk from the SME Banking Club, and I will be host today. And so we decided today to discuss a topic on how financial players can support digital savvy SMEs, and also how they can help and motivate SMEs to move their businesses online. And today I have two guests. Tomasz Górski, Head of Global Strategy and Growth at Cash Director and former SME Head at mBank and Idea Bank in Poland.
Hello.
And Wojciech Czajkowski, payment innovator and fintech entrepreneur, and also having experience in digital banking products and digital factoring for SME. So hello, Tomasz and Wojciech, very glad to have you today.
Hi, Olena, great to be here. Hi, everyone.
So before we start, just a short organizational moments from my side. So our webinar is scheduled up to 40 minutes. So we are recording this webinar, and right after we finish, you will receive the link to the video. And in the end of the webinar, we're going to have time for your questions. So please type your questions into the chat. And so let's go to the topic. And so e-commerce now is growing as a sector, and the volumes of online shopping are growing, and the competition as well is becoming more severe here. And so digital noise is loud, and advertising rates are getting higher, and the way people are shopping also changing a bit. And for the biggest part of SMEs, this can be both opportunity and a challenge as well, in becoming more difficult to enter this market and survive among big players, because this is not now just to open the online shop, but also to develop this channel. And this is completely different experience, both for SMEs and for their customers. And here, just wanted to give you two examples on what banks here in the Central Eastern Europe are doing, starting from April, so from the lockdown, to help the SMEs to start working in the new reality. So, and move their businesses to online. So actually, these are two banks in Poland that were very active in PR campaigns and promoting opening the online shops to their SME customers. The first example is ING Bank in Poland. So they launched the campaign called Keep Doing Business, and offering online shop like a free 3 months without monthly fees, and also they offer their payment gate and the Twister solution, which is like buy now pay later solutions integrated with the fintech from Czech Republic, Twister. And also they have a series of webinars for the customers to support the fresh SMEs in the online business. And mBank, also here in Poland, launched a campaign, Move Your Business to Online, also offering the launching of e-shop for 1 zloty, and then a free payment gate, and also discount for the advertisement online and marketing package. And also they launched actually the competition and finished in the end of the August, which was called Digital Revolution, and with the main prize of 100,000 zloty for best places. So this is actually the two companies win that prize. So to start the business and advertise business online, and 10 customers receive the prize with 10,000 zlotys and mentors support. Also here, PKO Bank Polski offers to the SMEs opening the e-shop online. And actually these are probably all the examples that here banks were going beyond banking, let's say, and offering a bit more than just payment holidays, let's say, to support their SMEs during these times. And now, Tomasz and Wojtek, I will pass the word to you. So please let us know what is your feeling on the market, and actually what are the trends here in the region.
Yeah. Thank you, Elena, for a great introduction. Today, I'd like to share a few very fresh and quite exciting examples. So we have on the agenda 5 points. I would discuss the e-commerce payments in the case of mBank, the new solution that went to the market 3-4 months ago. A very interesting product, digital micro leasing from a leasing company. And Wojtek will discuss about embedded finance for merchants buy now, pay later, and very interesting recent topic on the soft POS. So let's start with the e-commerce for payments. Let me show you quickly what is the kind of the most recent value proposition of one of the Polish leading e-commerce bank, mBank. So they introduced March and April. They introduced the whole package of services for e-commerce businesses. And one distinguished point about this package is that they are the core functionalities. They are fully integrated with the banking account. So there is no not only kind of the promo code that you can use and spend with the vendor, but there is in fact the deep and very successful integration. So what they have here. First, you have the functionality to open the eShop with some partners. You can use their own payment gate, Pay Now. It's a new product. You can spend some money on the marketing campaign with Samito, and you can have some very interesting, innovative products for your shopping cart. But most of all, on top of that, you will get the digital accounting and invoicing functionalities, which are fully integrated with the banking platform and could be fully integrated with your e-commerce shops. So everything in one place, only 2 clicks to move between the systems, and all the information are instant. So the information flow between the systems in the real time. Few words about the payment gate. So this is actually how the payment gate looks from the merchant point of view. So you have the pulpit płatności. It is of course the core functionality of business banking. You have this additional tag, my business, and here you have the full management console for your payment gateway. You can see the transaction pending and rejected. You have also the full integrated history of the returns of the customer, a list of invoices that you have issued, and those invoices are automatically reconciled. And everything, all those features are within your banking system. So they are connected with your banking account. You don't need any additional password to this. And if you launch it, actually you can launch it with 2 or 3 clicks from the level of your banking system. So kind of very easy kind of setup process, very easy customization process definitely for non-technical people. So this is the merchant view. The merchant view, this is how it looks in the system. So kind of very easy, very intuitive, and all the information under one place. This is the kind of the customer view. I mean the payer view. So the person who used this payment gateway at the merchant side to pay for e-commerce. So it's kind of, I would say it's designed for mobile, but it's actually mobile first. If you look at the features, at the look and feel, it's much better in mobile than even in the desktop version. So they really did a pretty good job here. What payment function they have? All cards. They have Blik, very popular in Poland, and they are starting with the Android and Google Pay pretty soon. So what they compete with it's the price. So they have the lowest price on the market, 0.95. It's the absolute minimum. They the next competitor, it's kind of the largest integrator in Poland, PayU. They have something slightly above 1%. So the difference, there is a difference, but there is no huge difference, right? No service of installation fee. And of course, as I mentioned, you manage from your main banking site. Again, very important, very smooth integration with the main e-shops platform. So actually, you can integrate all your e-commerce operations within one system, one single sign-on, and just 2 clicks to move between one place and another. So I would kind of sum up, key success factors. I know that they are growing fast with this tool. You had to remember, kind of the payment gateways are on the market for years, like 10 years or 15 years. So they are kind of late entrant, but they have a few kind of specific advantages. First, the acquisition and setup process is very fast, very easy. Actually, I compare the kind of the burden to launch this payment platform versus the next competitor, and the next competitor, who is kind of on the market 15 years, has 5 or 6 times more fields to be filled in this process. So very easy installation, low cost versus PayPal and local integration, integrated with the account. So this is very important. So the money for the shopping are on the account of the merchants right now, instantly. So you don't wait for the sales for the settlement. And it's kind of for the merchants who are cash squeezed, it's very important. It's critical. Easy integration with e-shops and the wide array of additional services like this digital invoicing, digital accounting, digital collections. So not only you can send the invoices, but you can actually send the payment reminders for those invoices to your merchant. So really kind of good way to extend the base offer of this kind of traditional bank. So if you are kind of thinking about similar features, remember hurry, because the shopping season start in 1 month, and this shopping season will be really special for e-commerce. For sure, we will break all the records this year. So cannot wait and see how it goes this way. So mBank and maybe few interesting another kind of inspiration: digital micro leasing. Leasing. This is a kind of the small fintech, or not that small, but it's a fintech company who started small ticket leasing, digital leasing. Small ticket meaning computers, cameras, printers, everything up to 20,000 zloty. And they were actually pretty successful with that. And 2 years ago, they were bought by the mBank. So now they run as independent operations, independent company within the mBank group. So this is the digital leasing. How they are distributed. They work with the merchants. So actually, that's one of the example of the embedded finance that Wojtek will discuss later on. So if you are doing shopping at merchants, you can find their the icon and actually use them to finance. They also distribute via their own site, and I will show you very briefly how it works. So it's kind of actually the starting page of leasing. So you enter the destination of your product from internet. It could be anything. I mean, anything. You mark the price, you mark the category, you push go, and then you receive the alternatives for financing. It's either leasing for SME companies, all installment loans for micro companies. Very easy, very fast selection. And then it's the process description on the site, and I checked it twice. The process really takes for a new customer So I had no relations with them at all, and the process took 11 minutes to get the finance for a Asus notebook, which cost 5,000 zloty. I had to do verification via bank transfer. I needed to put my put the data of my ID, but I didn't have to send the scan of my ID. That was very smart from them. And after 11 minutes, I got the contract, and I'm able to sign the contract and actually to get the financing. And later on, I just go to the merchant and pay, and they are paying directly to the merchant. So very easy, very friendly process. This is kind of example of the contract. So key success factors for them. I think one clear is it's a really fast process for new customer. It's 11 minutes. When you have no relations with the organization, it's really a killer. However, there are solutions that goes in 2 or 3 minutes, but I would say in kind of the 10 or 20,000 purchase, 11 minutes, it's pretty decent, right? Of course, we have Klarna, who can kind of give you money in seconds, but in case of Klarna, we have much smaller tickets, and here we have
consumers. And
consumers. You're right, yes. So the fast process, dedicated risk approach. So if you look, how they approach risk, it's not the retail banking model, and it's not the leasing model. They had to kind of come up with the new distinct risk approach, because imagine, right? They are funding up to notebook Asus worth 5,000 zlotys, and actually, the cost of kind of vindication of this notebook, they are actually much higher than the notebook itself, right? So they really kind of need to kind of factor in this increased cost of risk in the profitability situation. And again, number 3, it's a broad distribution through the online merchants and a kind of standalone site. So very interesting solution. I would kind of urge you to really investigate and to learn, because it's gonna be it's gonna be the future. Leasing.
Yes, I will probably comment, if I may, here just 1 minute about leasing, because we've been there 2 years ago during our conference as a study tour, because they're based in Warsaw. And actually, they are unique in this sense, because they make the leasing, and they say, is a method of payment. So you see this in the merchant, like just a button, pay with leasing or buy with leasing. So, and this is really unique, and this is for business customers. So for SMEs, for micros even maybe. And they're actually unique on the market. So still, because this kind of Klarna, but like buy now, pay later solutions could be used for less. Also Twiston, there is another Polish example, PayPal here, but in this sense, this solution is unique.
Yes.
I will also refer to that in one of my examples, because this buy now, pay later for SMEs is one of the ways that actually we have the second wave of this kind of products.
So let's go to the second part.
So thanks, Thomas. Your benchmark is pretty high. I will try to keep the pace, and it was very interesting. I have prepared a few examples of. As a kind of inspiration for you guys to dig deeper. I don't have so many nice workflows. I'm focusing on a little bit different stuff in here, but I want to start with embedded finance for merchants, and I have prepared here like 2 examples. One example is already mentioned here, payment gateways or payments in general. So for me here, I mean, all of you know Stripe. Stripe is actually doing what Thomas, you said that mBank is doing, like quick integration, like very fast, like APIs and everything what is driven by technology to connect merchants very fast, and mostly on SMEs and medium merchants. So So this is like, it's growing very fast. It's also growing very fast in the CE region. And just recently, over past year, it was exactly September 2019, they've launched a service which helps to finance these merchants who have these payments connected. So this is like a relatively new loan service, which is integrated, so embedded in the panel of the merchant when you manage all the payments and transactions that you are running as a merchant. So this is like important. It's just a click away. So if you are if you have an offer from Stripe, you can just apply with one click. Another important thing is that this is actually, like I mentioned, like whether you have an offer or not. So there are some algorithms that are actually scanning your history. They are scanning what was your business about previously, and based on that, they are using this kind of data to actually provide you an offer. There is more, because there is a product which is called, like, I think it's called Stripe for Platforms. So it's like for marketplaces, so that if you are not selling, or you're selling your own goods, but you are also allowing other merchants to sell your goods, and you have a Stripe payments marketplace or platform solution, then you can offer for your merchants the same product. So this is like super important. You know, you not only yourself as you who are selling the good, you can also offer to the other guys. There of course have these benefits that were already mentioned by Tomasz. It's like all this world is right now about this, like, about simplicity, about the fast no fields or minimum fields. It should be transparent, and so on and so on. And one important thing which could be interesting to the audience we have today is that they are not doing it by themselves. Of course, they have a partner. Not sure which partner is that, and probably these partners are various in terms of the region, right? So surely banks, but what I want to say here as an inspiration, this is like how banks getting in a partnership with digital players in the payments industry, they can actually help SMEs to develop. Just to end up of like some data on this example. So as I mentioned, it's like the value proposition is a quick money, one flat fee, which is pretty high, but it's flat. You know, it's like 10%, so that they deduct immediately. And then one very important thing that is revenue based. So one of the collaterals and main collateral is a payments that these merchants are accepting, and this provides one very important thing, is that merchants can manage seasonality. So you have a business, you pay off the loan, you repay the loan. If you don't have a business, or you have a smaller sales this week, this month, then you pay relatively less. Of course, there are some minimums. There are you know, these small stars in there, but this I see as one of the very important trends, and I know like 2 or 3 initiatives that are happening in the region towards this kind of solutions. So this was the first example of embedded financing. Another example is like most of you probably know Allegro. This is like kind of eBay for Poland, and Tomasz already mentioned about mBank a few times, so it's like the third time we call in this name. And this product is not a new one, right, Tomasz? I think that you know, it's like
years, like 4 years.
It's few years already, but it's still, you know, the screen was made a couple of days ago. It's still promoted as a, you know, new thing, and they are very much pushing that. I think that there is some additional way. So in general, merchant who is selling on marketplace can apply for a loan or business loan or a credit line within the panel of the marketplace. The offer is customized to him. The offer is available with one click, and this is my guess. Of course, I don't know the details what's behind, but it's interlinked with the transactions history of the merchants on Allegro. So this is again another example. I mean, Allegro will pop up in my presentation once again because of one very interesting product that is popping up. But here I wanted to mention that this, like, the context financing is going to be pretty important, either in payments, either in marketplaces. This is something what we should really observe as experts on this of this, let's say, fintech or financing stage. So this is one of the topic, embedded financing. Another one is mentioned by Tomasz and commented by Olena as well. Buy now, pay later. It was mentioned in the context of leasing, but here we have another product that it's actually I think it's in a testing phase. So it's a product which is provided again by Allegro, which is helping to merchants to buy now and pay later. And it's not leasing and it's not credit. So this works super simple. So for the seller, it works like that the seller is selling as usually. So like selling the product, then adding his invoice and all the details of the number to the panel on the marketplace, and receives the cash on regular conditions as he has together with Allegro in this specific case. But for buyer, it looks a little bit different. It's like when he's purchasing products, he's not paying immediately. He's just like receiving an invoice, and he's, of course, naturally, he's underwritten by a company, which I will mention in a second, and he's paying in 21, 45, or 60 days. So it's not an installment product. It's a cash, let's say, cash flow management helping product, and this is provided based on factoring in there. So it's a cooperation again of factoring company, which is PragmaGo, together with Allegro. And I've seen this factoring payment methods already in Germany, like Billy.io and a couple of others. So this is again quite interesting, and like it's pretty rare. And if it's rare and it has a value, you can see it's not so cheap, right? So it's like when you provide this value, and when you delay by 21, 45, 60 days, you have a different pricing. And when you just like sum it up to this annual interest rate, you will end up in close to 25, 27, 28% yearly, right? So as a speeding up of the cash for 21 days. But very interesting thing that, I mean, this product is not live yet. I haven't seen it live yet. So this what I'm sharing with you is some assumptions from what I dig deeper, and also on some maybe it is live, but I was not able to test it. They are just rolling it out step by step. Probably there is again history of the merchant on Allegro is involved, so these credit scorings are somehow adjusted with the history, not necessarily balance sheets and P&Ls and all the stuff, but more transactional. Very interesting is that for the sellers it's like there are no limits. So seller here is like just receiving money. So buyer is limited with 10,000 zlotys. 2,500 euro roughly. So that's currently limits, but it's already twice much as you mentioned than leasing. I don't know the leasing the total numbers, but it looks like it's going up. So this is another trend that we can observe. Yes. I recommend to observe this product and to observe what's happening here, because I'm sure that there will be more details popping up towards this idea in nearest days, weeks. So that's all about this buy now, pay later, and we shift to my favorite actually. So this is software POS. And I know that this is like the tricky topic, because like people say that like software POS is already on the market for the last 3 years, that there will MPOSs, mobile POSs, and so on and so on. And I agree with all of that. But the few things happen. Let's first define what I mean as a software POS and what are the variations of that. So first of all, the software POS, like you could read about the recent acquisition of MobiWave by Apple. So pretty much what this company is doing is turning our mobile phones into the POS terminals in terms of hardware. And the POS is just a software application which runs on our telephones. And naturally, there are some obstacles that needs to be done. Like Android system is too open. There is not so many SMEs who are having these iPhones, which is more close, more safe, and so on. There is no PCI regulations ready yet, and most of these companies that are providing soft POSs right now, they are working on the waivers from card payment schemes. So this Definitely not something which is up and running today, but it gives a lot of opportunities. I will mention that in the future. But generally, something what turns your phone into the without any dingles, anything like connected. It simply turns your phone into the POS terminal for contactless payments. But there are also some other examples. I have a pleasure to cooperate with this transfer software company, which was supported by MasterCard through one of the schemes they have, and they are actually distributing they're distributing products which are pretty much telephones. Like two of them, you see, like this is like a telephone, but it's like certified. And the one that you see on the right side is actually something what can print, a receipt on. It has a printed implemented within. But the thing is that I think that this is also a kind of POS, because a soft POS, because this is like something what gives you the possibilities is just like the headphone is different. This hardware is a little bit different, but it has all the same. I think these guys are running on Android anyway, but it's like, not every application can be installed in there. It's like it has some limitations, but it gives these possibilities. And what are these possibilities? I think that, like, first of all, this is this mobility that you can have, like, can be taken anywhere. Of course, the typical software POS can reduce the cost and so on. But one very important thing is that this integration of application and internal systems of merchants, it helps us with communication channels with clients, integration with marketing activities, CRM, or even installments. I mean, today you don't even have possibility on the regular POS where you have just buttons, like how to apply for installments, right? You can only imagine that there is an application that everything what we just talked about with Tomasz previously, it's available actually on the POS in the real shop. So like when you have this multi-channel or omni-channel or whatever, like live, selling online and offline, also available for SMEs with soft POSs. And of course, when you talk with these companies who are right now, let's say, testing these solutions on, actually, it happens that it's on Polish market because it's like, very advanced NFC and very high penetration on NFC market. So all these companies are actually testing these solutions on Polish market. They say that it's like for small merchants, that there is even for large retailers for high season to eliminate queues. That there is like, again, not the best example in COVID times when there is not so many fairs and exhibitions and so on and so on. But again, when it comes back, it can be it can be a personal POS of the salesperson who is on exhibition, right, and on some stands and or outside the street. Direct sales and all these MLM systems, couriers, I don't have to explain that, and insurance companies, right? So you can, with insurance company, and this is what the guys from Trusted Software Services they actually made me aware that insurance is like super interesting, because like the software POS, the application behind, can actually eliminate the situation that the insurance agent types in something, right? So he's actually focusing on calculating the cost of insurance on the computer or somewhere else. And this talks to this system talks over APIs with software POS, and then the payment is actually already done for just like from the consumer perspective. So there is no place for mistakes. It's already settled. It's already it's done, right? So you can eliminate all the stuff, the work and the problems that are happening with this kind of services and taxes at the end. And this trend that you see here, it's like you cannot say if it's software POS, it's mobile POS altogether. There's like mobile, non-standard, but the trend is super visible. And once these obstacles are solved for this pure software POS, I think it's going to be a next thing, not because of hardware price, not because of this mobility, but because of this value-added services that we cannot even think of what can be done today. And there is one trend that forces me to think this way, is that this like forced fiscalization that is like the hot topic right now. That the forced fiscalization will be actually the enabler also to some extent for soft POSs, but that's not the end. So so I think that this is like this is one that there is one more thing about soft POSs, that I think that that soft POSs are giving us, as I'm talking as a market and as a service providers, the possibility to generate the value for merchants, not to be a standalone, let's say, solution, like another solution for the merchant. So how I see that is that soft POSs could be in the future a feature of every app that has a relation with the merchant. Not as an additional hardware, not as an additional application, not as something additional, but as a feature. So we can only imagine, I don't know, B2B platforms. Tomasz has mentioned about invoicing platforms, right? So if you have a system and you have it on your mobile and you send an invoice, you can actually collect the payment of your invoice with your phone immediately, right? Booking applications, this is one of the things, like one of the app, if you can just imagine, you know, I don't know, home doctor or something like this, the physiotherapist who is visiting the person at home, right? Just to collect payments. And this should be, he can have still a regular POS at his physiotherapist's place. But when he goes somewhere, then he takes his phone, and that's how he accepts the payments. Another is telecoms. So telecoms, it's again, every single merchant has a phone because this is the nature of our reality right now. And how about having, you know, this additional ability to accept payments wherever you are? If you are in your shop, you have a regular POS terminal, but this one is a backup terminal, or this one is like when you move somewhere to the like the marketplace in the meaning of real marketplace on the street somewhere. And for telecoms, it's more reasons to have, you know, the touch points with merchants, and maybe some of these merchants will, you know, save money on hardware, maybe not. You know, that's I leave as an open question. And finally, banks. I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer, because even in B2B platforms or telecoms, there is a way of, like, you know, the certification, the issues of safety, the issues like, and banks, for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, if I have a merchant, you know, if I have a merchant account in my bank application, I should be able to accept payments if I have a phone which is capable to do that. And again, I think that banks better know what could be the benefits of that. But I think that the cost of issuing this kind of solution is not big, or definitely there is no hardware cost for this kind of, or there will be no hardware. There will be no cost of hardware in the future, and I think that these, you know, businesses that I'm mentioning here, probably there is more. I see clearly those three examples.
Yeah, fully agree. You know, banks definitely. So bankers, please do hurry up, because you know there is a really kind of huge competition to include this soft functionality, to extend the user experience, to extend the value system. So it's, for me, it's no brainer too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think I will just leave it open, you know, because for me this is like, and when we met with Tomasz, it was one of the most interesting topics that we were, you know, bunching and like discussing, you know, this way and the other. And yeah, so hopefully that those few examples gave you some inspiration, that it was not boring in anyhow, and gave you some inspiration for what to do in the future.
Yes, thank you, Wojtek. I'm here encouraging our attendees to ask the questions, typing into the chat. We can have another, let's say, 10 minutes for the questions. So please, if you have yours, please type them. Well, I will have one question for Tomasz and for Wojtek. So, Tomasz, maybe my first question will be to you regarding your part of the presentation. I saw some statistics that this year, or this half of the year, 14 or 15% of SMEs moved their businesses online. I mean, this is a general statistics for Europe. And last year, I saw statistics also. This was a PKO Bank report here in Poland on the SMEs, and actually also 15% of SMEs were answering that they are investing money to create some innovations or to implement some innovations in their business processes. And here, so I mean, in general, the digitalization for SMEs is costly. And it seems that banks having such solutions as here we saw the examples of mBank and ING, but there's actually a really few examples here at the markets, I mean, in the region, the whole CE region right now. So it seems like they can really have an impact here on the digitalization of SMEs, can do here much, and still we don't see a lot of examples here in the region. What is your opinion? Will we see some more examples in the nearest future? What is the feeling here?
I think that there are at least two other kind of large banks in Poland that are currently developing the e-commerce toolset, and we will soon hear about the new moves on the market. So we have those two leaders, but there are others kind of preparing for the war for e-commerce, because here the price is enormous. If you look at the SMEs and if you look at the kind of marketing and sales activities of SMEs, all of them are already on internet. So all of them are digital, right? So why not digitize finances? Not only banking, but finances for SMEs and micro customers.
Yes, I do believe in this, and also would like to see all the offers digitalized for SMEs here in the region. Okay, so so my feeling is also that during next year maybe we will see more digitalized offers, because we did some studies in the middle of this year actually to see whether this lockdown moved some banks and fintechs to make more offers, so to digitalize, let's say, the processes for SMEs. And still, for example, for the lending and for the factoring, I mean the traditional products, there's still not so many offers here in the region. So that's why, I mean, we have digitalization, but it's going maybe not so fast as SMEs.
But Olena, one example of I think that the one example, Tomasz, maybe you can comment on that, of the COVID and coronavirus stuff, is that I think with leasing there was an issue that the leasing was regulated as a signature made signature,
yes,
right?
You should have a paper signed.
Exactly. And I think that this is what happened. What just happened is that it does not have to be this one, but you have already some identification online services, and it's already equal online remote way of identification and signing is equal to the written signature. So, for example, it has impact on this kind of services, right?
Yeah. And Wojtek, my question is to you, because this example also for embedded finance, and personally, I would like to have this type of product, to see more examples here in the region, in the CE region. But at the moment, there are still a few of them, and mainly even globally, more fintechs taking use of it, let's say, and and do it with this bank as a service processes. So do you see also, will this be a trend here in the region, that the banks will implement such solutions? Because this maybe, I was thinking, because this maybe requires some platform-based business model, which is not the case at the moment here.
Yeah.
So what does it feel?
I have very clear view on that. Of course, it's my subjective view, but it's already supported by some years spent in micro factoring when I was trying to to find working capital on the market. and trying to provide the value for consumers, for SMEs, finance SMEs. And I came to the conclusion that actually banks, they have a huge advantage over other players, which is they know how to lend money. They have very good price of money, and they know how to do it.
Yeah. And they have
with customers. This is tricky with customers, because with customers they already manage them, and they can already improve. But it's not the case for embedded financing, right? Embedded financing is the nature of embedded financing is to reach the customers that you don't have in your database, and you cannot acquire them. So this is very important. So these merchants, they will be banks, they know how to lend money. It's just like they need the technology also. There is one more thing about banks, is that they are regulated, so they have harder way to make things to judge the risk differently, right? So they have to explain to the regulator what is the credit policy, and so on and so on. So once they will learn that, with the use of some of additional data, as the banks cooperating with Stripe, the banks cooperating with Allegro do, they will be able to provide capital with decent pricing, embedded in the context of the business of the merchant somewhere, right? Either it's payments, or it's a marketplace, or it's an e-shop platform, like this kind of shopping platforms that allowing you to sell on your own brand and so on. So I think that this is the role, and banks, they have huge role to play in here. They need to catch up with two things. One is technology, which I think that banks in the region are pretty well. Combining with these guys like Stripe and so on. So they're masters in technology and connecting merchants. And the second thing is that the way that they need to be open for the new sources of data to judge and to provide the risk, because when you borrow money from someone, or you lend to someone, in either it's credit, leasing, or whatever, there are two most important cost factors. One is risk, and another is the cost of capital that you provide. And those two things, I think banks, if they will play the game well, they have the best chance to win.
Yeah.
But they will not do it by themselves. That's I think that they need cooperation with someone.
Yes.
They will not do it by themselves.
Yes. This is the first way to cooperate and to market the solution fast, is to cooperate with the providers who has already the solutions, and the solutions are at the market. So you don't have to create them from the scratch. You can just embed it and cooperate with the partners and market this faster. Okay, so thank you. We don't have questions when the time is ending. So thank you for your contribution and for the presentation today. And thank you for all the attendees that stayed till the very end. Thank you very much, and see you next time. And bye.
Thank you, Elena. Thanks, Tomasz. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.